And we need to become friends for them. When we're friends, we can be better mentors. And when we're mentors, we can be better friends too. And
that's good.
And we can just get closer. And because what we've failed is to help that generation. And we really need to take a step back, get humble. Like you said, it wasn't them that started the two wars. It wasn't them that did all of this. We did this. We have straddled them with so much burden in their lifetimes. We've got to help them find a way out of it. And
that's
they
good.
help us too, and they will.
And they will. And I think they will. I think a lot of, they have a different work ethic. And yet some of that work ethic difference really shines back on us. For example, that they don't put up with whole bunch. They take a job and 6 weeks later they're quitting. Yes or no?
That's right.
And you ask them why, and they have their reasons, okay? And it's usually, they're not going to put up with what you and I put up with. Within 6 weeks, you and I were hired to jobs and we could tell it's a toxic environment. They really aren't going to live up to their promises. The managers treat us bad. And what were you and I taught? Hang in there, hold tight, it'll come. And we chase this carrot, and you and I know those carrots never arrived, but we hung it out because we somehow found our way. They don't put up with that. Yeah. Now, is that wrong? Wouldn't you jump? I mean,
yeah, and that's exactly it. And we were also taught, well, you need to be the first one in the office and the last one to leave. Well, they're taught, stay there until you get the job done and then go home, or just stay home and get the job done.
So now we don't want clock workers, right?
That's right.
But yet we're the ones saying you have to work for the clock.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, no, how about you pay me a job? I get my job done. You reward me with some extra hours. You're happy. I'm happy. And I get what I want. You get, no, you have to stay here those extra 45 minutes, those extra 2 hours, and just be here and clock in. And then we wonder why the morale's differently.
Yeah.
And why can't we get them to be more engaged? We're not listening, huh?
Yeah. And that's it. You and I were taught you show up to work. You get there early. You stay until the boss leaves.
Oh,
remember that?
Oh, remember? Man, yeah. So, what's that called? I workers?
I workers. Where'd they go? Where are they? Such the wrong attitude. And,
correct.
And every time I'm in a new leadership role now, and I've done this for the last 20 years, 10 years, 20 years, is I'd say, look, just get the job done. I don't care what time you show up, what you're doing, as long as the job gets accomplished.
Basically, leadership has had to change because of this, right?
That's absolutely true. Because leadership used to be, you do what I tell you to, and I'm going this way. That used to be what leadership was.
Correct.
Leadership today has to be a buy-in kind of thing, because you're going to lead and you want the company to go in this direction, but you have to have all your followers coming with you, right?
How did you put it? I hadn't heard it like that. It has to be a buy-in type of a
buy-in. Right.
I would dare say then that is why this is not attractive to older managers, because that requires more effort to be that good of a manager than to just give orders, direct people, and just watch the clock.
Yeah, because that's easy, right? You just do X, Y, and Z and have it done by 4. See you later. That's easy.
So let me ask you some questions in here. You may feel like I'm challenging. I'm not. I'm hearing some of our listeners, and they're probably saying, Marty's asking this, asking this. So let me play a little bit hardball here, okay? What if the job, though, that I'm hiring for really requires a person to be at the office? Not all jobs are the same. I mean, what about those scenarios where I don't have a problem having a hybrid workplace? Some work here, some work remote, some in and out. As long as everyone's doing their job, you're saying that should be the determining factor, not whether they're clocking in, is whether they're doing their job. But aren't there positions that just really you need to be at the office physically for whatever reason?
Absolutely. And I think, so let's take retail, for example, right?
Okay. Yeah.
When you work retail, they have to be there, right? They're customer service focused. They, Dillard's or what have you, Nordstrom's, people are there. And you have to have them on the floor doing things. You can still motivate them through different types of ways. And what I'm getting to is, you motivate an individual, a younger individual, by being willing to do what they're going to do. I've always said that if I'm not willing to do that job, why would I ask somebody to do that job?
To be a real model, to be a real, don't just pretend that I'm going to go about what you said. I really want you to exemplify the behavior you're asking me to do.
That's exactly right. Because if I'm not willing to get in there and let's say fold shirts, I can sit there and have a conversation with Joe while I'm folding shirts and get to know him a little better, find out what motivates him, what his thought process is, why he took this job, why he likes this job, why he doesn't like this job. You can find out more from being around them working than just, okay, I'm going to sit you across the desk. Now let's have a counseling session on what's going on. How do you feel? What do you think you're doing right? That's not the way they interact.
So again, going back to how you and I were heard it is you do what the bosses and what the company wants you to do, not necessarily because they're doing it or not doing it. You just obey. You just do what they want you to do. The younger employees, the younger crowd, they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. I'd rather leave than to pretend that I'm going to be the one that does it while my boss and other people aren't going to be held to the same standard. And they don't want to live in a culture like that.
That's a great way to sum that up because they don't have that over sense of loyalty the way you and I were brought up.
Right.
They don't have that. And that's okay because that just makes it better for me because they're going to challenge me on things. And if I take that in the right way, the company's going to get better because they're going to say, hey, are you sure we want to do that? I don't think that.
Again, you're hitting some tough stuff here, Jim, because you just said we know they're going to challenge us. And again, as the old folks here in the room, I really wonder whether we're honest with ourselves as to whether we really want folks to disagree with us. We constantly say we don't want people to be yes men. We want you to be able to speak up. We want you to be able to come in and think outside the box. We want you to come in and give your ideas. And no sooner do they come in, we challenge them and get them to be quiet because they're disagreeing all the time.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that Cat Stevens song, you know, ever since I was a little kid, I was told to talk. And then when I talked, I was told to be quiet. You know, I mean, we do this to them constantly. So what is it? Is it what's wrong with us, man? Why can we get it straight? Do we want a disagreement or do we really ultimately just want to manage by dictates?
Well, and that's what we've got to learn because we have to learn that we can't manage by dictates. It'll fail now. With that generation, that will just fall apart. You'll lose every employee you've got. Yeah. You can't manage by dictates. Now, there are some things that, hey, we need to get this software out in 3 weeks.
That's clarity. I think what they're constantly asking for is they're wanting clarity. Okay. Mm-hmm. Stop beating around the bush like you guys like to talk to each other.
Yes.
Be direct, be upfront. Don't beat around the bush. If I'm not doing a good job, don't grandpa me. Just tell me. Yeah. If you need it done by Friday, fine. But clarity is what I think they're asking for, and they don't put up with vagueness.
That's the right way of saying it. What's great about them, I'll be honest with you, I love them, is they'll take it home and they'll just sit on their computer all night long. I've had programmers do this with their Mountain Dews or whatever they're drinking. Know what energy drink that is. And they'll just pound it out all night long. The next thing you know, they come in, it's done. Like, hey, this is awesome. I love you.
Right. And then we don't want to reward them with take the rest of the day off because they got to clock in and be able to say you have to work till 5.
Yeah. And that's the craziness about it. I'm like,
I know. Right. Hey, everybody. Great job making it through this. Go to the next module. Let's get moving to the next levels. Good luck. And again, thank you for joining the program. Honored to help you.